Um, so just know pretty much I'm focusing on my own screen. And if you do not want to be on camera at all, please do not be, if you don't want to be in the video and you're on camera, you might want to go off camera. So this is a story to get us started.
The Way
Can you hear
of
it?
the Bear. There was once
Yes.
a family of bears living in a beautiful forest. They were strong, well fed, and safe. There was plenty of space to roam and plenty of natural food, berries, fresh fish, clean water. The mother bear took care of her cubs with love. You know better to touch a baby cub when the mother bear is around to see it. Don't want to do that. She fed them. She protected them. She taught them how to live. After a while, about a year, maybe two, when they were ready, they went off on their own, knowing exactly what to do, what to eat, how to live in a peaceful life. Living alone. That's just how bears live. Now, people are different. We're social. We're meant to live together and to live as a family. Our children stay with their parents for many years, some well into adulthood. But unlike the bear cubs, some of our children are being pushed out into the world before they truly are ready. And instead of learning from their families, they learn from the media, from marketing, from bright color labels that tell them what to eat, how to live, to dress, how to wear their hair, and what matters. The adults are much the same as their children when it comes to their choices in food. What they feed their bodies and their minds may not be the same healthy way as the bears. Where do they find the answers are the questions for the day? The adults are much the same as the children when it comes to their choices in food. What they feed their bodies and their minds sometimes can be improved. Where do they find their answers to the question of the day, the $50,000 question? What's for dinner? Could be on TV, on their cell phone, driving down the street passing fast food from the left to the right. Or there's the fast food brought right to their door. It's hard to resist, right? Well, we're raising cubs, our children, without instincts. Why? Maybe because we've forgotten our own instincts when it comes to food. You see, the bear doesn't question what to eat. He follows his natural design. He eats what's nourishing to him. He moves with the seasons, going to take his rest when his body tells him it's time to go to sleep. And he stays there for months. And cubs grow strong, their body strong and healthy, so that they can live their purpose. But in our world, we often eat what's quick, what's cheap, what numbs the pain. We've been taught to ignore our body's wisdom and reach instead for the foods that have been purchased or promoted, packaged, processed, preserved, patented, and potentially harmful, and disconnected from the earth. Do you know today a mother may prefer to feed her child, her newborn baby, formula made by a man rather than to trust her own body to supply the healthy nourishment for her baby? Fathers may bring home fast food because there's no time to cook before you run it off to the game or the practice or who knows what. A child could grow up thinking food comes from a box instead of the ground. And what costs? Our health, our peace, our connection to how God intended us to live. Let me ask you this. Are you eating what brings life or what brings confusion, fatigue, and dis-ease? Are you feeding your body with love or your mind with fear, addiction, and habits? Because here's the truth. The bear doesn't need a meal plan. The bear doesn't need to count calories. The bear lives well because it lives naturally. And so, what about you? I'm calling you to action to reclaim your health by returning to the natural ways. It's time to return to what your body already knows, to eat from the earth, to drink clean water, and plenty of it. To stop settling for what is easy and start choosing what is real to put in your body. Because you are not just feeding a stomach, you're feeding a mind, a spirit, and a legacy. Every bite is a decision to live or just survive, to heal or to hide, to remember who you are naturally, spiritually, or to forget. So, I invite you not to diet, not to follow a trend, but to reclaim your natural wisdom, to treat your meals as sacred, to nourish your body like the temple it is, and to feed yourself and your children with truth, not convenience. Like the bear in the forest, we are designed to thrive.
Jungle Boogie. All right, all right. What did you get out of that message from the Bears? Anything? Put anybody want to unmute or put something in there? Give me one thing you got the message from. Yes. Yes, Tony.
So it brings, um, and from your narrative and about the bear, it brings to the forefront some of my thinking is that uh, we function based upon either nature or nurture, and a lot of times when we are nurtured against nature, we the only thing we do is survive and not thrive.
Mm-hmm.
So really it's getting us to the place where nature Well, the nurturing that we get is in sync with the nature that we're supposed to abide in. And you can check me on this and just tell me, this is one of little sayings that I've come up for myself, that the food that I eat, if it is nutritional, it also is medicinal.
That's a good one. Like that.
Uh, and if it's not medicinal, then it's poisonous.
Yeah, I like that.
So so in Hollywood, in California, in the arena of the, those rich and famous folks who's they are doing something today called microdosing.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that when it comes to Ozempic and stuff like that, to, sort of keep their weight in check. And I just think, Miss Carol, that God has put in every nutritional food microdoses of medicine.
You're right. And I'm going to stop you right there because I am going to be addressing some of what you're saying. And I appreciate you commenting that because I have just so much to show, I'm going to go on without anyone else's respond. But you can definitely respond in the chat if you have something to add. And my intention was just to remind us that we are a part of nature. God has given us everything we need in nature to eat and to thrive, but we just need to get back to that. We need to get back to nature. So let me go back to sharing a little bit and go on with the presentation a little bit more. Are you all anybody get to dancing with the bears? Anybody dancing with the bears? Okay, so one thing, the difference between who you are right now today and what you'll be or who you'll be in 1, 3, 5, or 10 minutes. You don't have to have a crystal ball to figure it out. What you eat now, what you read now, and who you associate with are going to determine what you're going to be in a year, 3, 5, 10 years. So I say right now, choose to eat healthy, healthier, as well as if you already had a heart attack. When you have that major medical incident, it wakes you up, right? And you start making those changes that you knew you should have done anyway. But this gives you an idea that now is the time to start really making changes that you know you need to make. Choose to read some enrich your mind and spirit, and choose to associate with the people that are good feeling to you, who have good conversation, and in general, a good outlook on life. That's the idea. I do have some objectives here for you. Introducing nutrition awareness. I know this is a lot of writing. I'm just going to read the headlines. I want to provide you with understanding of food choices and how important it is for your health, and that foods have nutritional value. Some have not so much nutritional value. And that's where we get into the situation of wondering what's healthy and what isn't. Holistic wellness is more than just the food we eat. And as I talked about the bears and the cubs and how nature was a big part of their thriving, and that we can thrive too, but it's important for us to get back to thinking about wellness more than just eating. It's physical, it's mental, it's emotional health that we want, all of us want. I want you to inspire you for a more positive, healthy mindset. So we're here for food as medicine, but we're not just talking about food. I'm going to open your minds to much more. That's my intention. And I'm here to support you to make the changes that you need to have the lifestyle that you want, to be well, fully well and well-being. And why is this so important? Because when you learn how to eat healthier, you're going to boost your energy level. You're going to support your immune system. You're going to improve your mental clarity and your mood and prevent chronic diseases. Years ago, people died earlier from accidents or infections, but they didn't live long enough to have chronic diseases. We live long now, and we have our own set of health problems. Chronic diseases, which means health problems that last for a long time, more than just a day. You know, you might have a headache for a day or catch the flu for a short time, but a chronic disease is one that hangs on. So when you are able to promote better digestion, when you eat higher fiber foods, and where I'm getting those fiber foods from your plant-based foods. It helps you maintain a weight when you eat whole foods and not so much of the calorie dense foods that aren't, what we call junk food. They're junk food because they don't have the nutrients that you actually need in the amounts that you want to have or should have. When you're eating healthier, you're going to sleep better because your hormones are going to be in balance. All the nutrients that your body needs will be supplied for you so that your body can have this natural rhythm of what it's supposed to do. Getting tired at night, having the magnesium to help you sleep, you get that from your diet as a regular way of getting it. That's where you should get it. You shouldn't have to take a pill for all the things that we can get from our diet. And it helps to nourish your spirit. Eating mindfully and from the earth strengthens your connection to your body, to nature, and to your divine purpose, which we all have a divine purpose. What are we eating now? We're eating mostly the SAD diet. Standard American diet is called the SAD diet. And the reason why I'm going to show you are some of the reasons why it's considered to be unhealthy and what health problems result from the way we eat our SAD diet. First, it's highly processed, right? Like I said, it's going to be convenience, going to be packaged, sugary drinks, refined carbohydrates, really fatty foods, fried foods, deeply fried foods, and a lot of it. Those are what we generally eat in this country on a regular basis, pretty much daily for most of us. I can't say that, but a lot of us. The impact is it leaves us with nutrient deficiencies because the diet doesn't have all the nutrients that we need in it. The nutrients that we get from our whole foods, our fruits, our vegetables, whole grains, lean sources of proteins. Okay? When you don't have these in your diet, your body's going to have to suffer from it because your body's not able to make these different nutrients. We can only get it from our diet. The SAD diet has too much sugar. If you think about it, with the beverages that you drink on a regular basis, the sodas, the sweet tea, the lemonade with all different flavors in it now, not just lemon, right? The energy drinks, the big, enormous coffees, all those are just packed with sugar. And when we talk about carbs and people are afraid of carbs, these are the carbs that you should be concerned about, not so much the whole grain choices that provide carbohydrates. Your fruits and vegetables are also carbohydrates. So when you have an excess fat, excess amount of sugar, it causes your body to have more insulin resistance, which means you're going to gain weight and you're going to possibly develop diabetes type 2, especially if you have a family history of it. When I was in school and early in my career being a dietitian, they said type 2 diabetes usually develops when you're overweight, over 40, and have a family history of it and not active. Now we have children with type 2 diabetes, and that's because of the way we eat. Plenty of unhealthy fats, particularly those found in the processed foods again, like margarine, the omega-6 fatty acids from vegetable oils, and saturated fats. You'll learn more about that as we go along. But the thing about it is that high fat foods contribute to increased bad cholesterol levels, which we know increases our heart, decreases our risk of heart disease, strokes, and metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is when you have at least three of these problems we already talked about: diabetes, heart problems, and high blood pressure. Then your body is really going into some problem areas metabolically, obesity. All these contribute to that problem, which complicates how you feel and how you can correct these issues. When you're eating the SAD diet, there isn't very much fiber. Can somebody put in the in the chat what's important for fiber? What is fiber's critical role? I know you see it here, but I want you to get involved. I want to hear what you're saying. What is important? Why we need fiber? Some digestive diseases. I say some diseases are nutrient from poor nutrient. Yep, all of them. Basically, all of them. Anybody want to comment on fiber? Our digestive system, basically. Also, if you're diabetic, if you have fiber in your diet, it's going to slow down how fast your body processes the food in your stomach. And that way, it slows down your blood sugar going up. Constipation is a chronic disease in this country. It's very popular in our young people for them to not have a bowel movement for days. And they don't know that that's not normal, but it's not. We should have bowel movement day every day, if not more than once a day. And that is how we eat in this country now. So the SAD diet is not a healthy diet. And like I said, the imbalance of the fats. So when you don't have the balance in your body, you have significant problems with these chronic diseases, including arthritis. And you'll find that when you eat healthier, these diseases actually start to get better. And we know it's high in sodium, right? Anything that's processed has been processed with sodium of some type. It may not be, when you read the label, you may not recognize all the words, but it has sodium on it, is in adding high sodium to it. Excessive sodium contributes to your high blood pressure. And high blood pressure contributes to heart disease and strokes, and also kidney disease. So you see how our diet is part of our big problem why we are unhealthy in this country. We are at the top of the list of unhealthy um, people around the world. And it's all about looking at way we eat. Portion sizes. I'm going to get into that in just a minute, so I'm going to slip through that one. Not having the produce, the whole grains, the nuts, the lean. All this is an impact. I'm just pointing out all the things that's not in the healthy diet, in the SAD diet. And altogether, it contributes to our problems with our health. Okay? Any comments, questions on that? Let me talk about, this is just the conclusion. I've already said all that. I have a quiz for you. Portion distortion. So I want you to, let's see, in the chat, I want you to guess on these questions. So 20 years ago, I've been showing this video for at least 15 years, so this is actually more like 30 years ago, that a cup of coffee was 8 ounces, right? And it had 45 calories in it. A mocha coffee with nice, steamy, hot whole milk and a mocha syrup. How many calories in it, y'all? 300, 700. Anybody else? Come on, y'all. 500. Okay, 400. 350. But I'm sure you can get one that's bigger and you can get more calories, right? What? Why are we overweight? Because when you see this extra large size serving, It takes extra energy to burn those calories off, right? Calories in equals calories out. If you're taking in an extra 350 calories a day, that means you got to get out and walk a little bit more. How long will you have to walk to burn off that extra 350 calories, 305 calories? Um, I didn't have the answer there. Um, I missed that slide. I think it's an extra hour a day to burn off those calories. Yeah. A muffin. Well, Costco finally got the message and downsized on their muffins. But before that, before that, they were humongous. Where a muffin used to be like your cupcake holder, your cupcake pan. That was 210 calories. How much in the one today? It does depend how fast you walk, how many calories you burn too. But the fact is, most of us aren't out there walking longer, and that is the issue. 500 calories now in a 4-ounce size muffin. Got it? That you 500 calories. You got it, Tiara. 290 extra calories that you have to burn off. 290 extra calories. That would take, okay, this one actually the walking an hour and 20 minutes for the um, exercise of the coffee. And let's talk about pizza. Remember when pizza used to be a special occasion thing? Birthday parties? Huh. Today, there are people that eat pizza at least almost every day. How many calories in two large pieces of pizza now? 850. An extra 350 calories. So you have to get out there and play golf quite a bit more to burn off those extra calories. About another hour. If you love golf, that might be all right, but that's a long day. Even our salads have gotten bigger and less healthy for us. So a 390 calorie chicken Caesar salad now is a giant salad. Could be up to 790 calories. That means you got an extra 400 calories to burn off. And we talk about walking the dog. Based on a 160-pound person, I'm sorry, my slides are not in good order. But this shows you again what the popcorn looks like now and what it used to look like. Hmm. Going to the movies, you're going to eat a lot of extra popcorn. Cheesecake. How much more is in a piece of cheesecake now? We go to Cheesecake Factory. It doesn't look like that 261 for sure, right? 640 calories. And that's without the whipped cream on top. So you see, we have a lot more physical activity that we need to do to keep up with the amount of calories that we're eating. And that's part of our health problem today. So it's not just nutrition education I want to share with you, it's wellness education. Can you see how you need to know more about which particular foods to eat and which particular foods not to eat? Because we're more than just the food we eat. We have bodies that are all connected spiritually, mentally, physically. Now, back in the day, we used to celebrate Dietitian Day, and this was a card that was given me. Preparation, preparing nutrition meals isn't hard as long as you just include the 4 basic food groups. Do y'all remember those 4 basic food groups? Well, inside the card, this is what it said: canned, frozen, microwavable, and fast. Well, what was the next step? Was the pyramid, right? And then there was the healthy plate. Well, the healthy plates help you find ways to have a good variety of foods on your plate, limiting the amount of fatty foods and increasing the amount of plant-based foods. Right. One thing that they haven't removed so much is the milk. Milk in general is not that healthy for us to drink a lot of milk, whole milk especially. Well, I have come up with a different plate because I want to share with you some ideas about looking at wellness, not just as far as what you eat. This is sacred plate, and it's sacred plate. It's what I called it. What I have taken are some peas. You know, some people have peas that that they remember patience. I've got patience. I have prosperity, purpose, planning, practice, prayer, and persistence. I say if you can practice all of these, you're going to have wellness. And this is what I'm hoping to share with people. Your purpose, that's your social wellness. When you have a purpose and you want to go out and do things for the society and culture and people that you love and people that you live around with, that's wellness, social wellness. Planning, being intelligent, knowing that you still have things that you can achieve in life and never give it up. Being practicing your physical wellness. You know, I got sore the other day just doing stretching one day. You have to keep it up. The more you do it, the less you feel it as far as being sore. But physical wellness takes practice. Prayer or spiritual wellness is awesome, always important. The number one thing that we have to start our day with and end our day with. And say a little prayer throughout the day and being thankful for all that you are able to do in this life. Being patient, not getting too emotionally upset with people. Have patience, prosperity. You know, if you are well in all these other ways, you're going to be prosperous too because you're going to be following your purpose. You're going to be part of community, giving back, being patient, being prayed up, and being persistent. And you will be in a good place in your life. So this is what I hope to include for people to understand as I teach food as medicine. And when we go through this path of better health and wellness, you're going to get expert guidance. I consider myself an expert in food and nutrition and wellness. I've taught stress management, I've taught weight loss classes, I've taught how people can change their lifestyle and also learn to have more self love. If we come together as a group, we're going to be community minded. We're going to have steps that we can follow and to keep us going on our path. So what I'm offering is a class. This here is an informational session to tell you what I'm offering as a class, where we'll be talking about plant-based foods and how important it is. Am I trying to turn you into a vegan? No, I'm not a vegan, but I do want to tell you about the advantages of eating in that type of meal planning and how if you just eat less of the meat, less of the fatty foods, and more of the plant-based foods, how you're going to benefit. I want you to incorporate more foods that come from earth in your diet. And when we come together, we will practice what we know and keep accountability in choosing the right foods. I want long term results. I don't want anyone starting a diet and thinking that they have to continue to limit their choices because they're on a diet. No, this is improving long term benefits, your energy, your immune system, digestive system, overall being well. That's the whole idea. So I am offering this as a 4 week session. It will be on here on Zoom on Wednesdays, starting from July 2nd to July 23rd. This is only $98. I have a limited class size of 20 because I'm also offering a one-on-one session with each person that I can work with you one-on-one to help you get the most out of the 4 sessions. And so if you are thinking that you need to make some positive changes and what I'm telling you sounds like the right method for you, then I hope that you will join me in this workshop that we're going to start on July 2nd. Okay. I want to tell you where I'm getting my information. So, part of being a dietitian, as a registered dietitian, continuing education was also was part of what you mandated to do. I continue to learn, even though I'm not turning any community education or continuing education hours in. One of the things I'm learning about is longevity and the blue zone. There's a program on Netflix about the blue zone. It's called Living Longer, I think. Um, Fortunately, here in Parkland, there is a blue zone organization that's teaching people how to live healthier. The blue zone were 6 areas around the world where people live longer, up into their hundreds, more and more of the people. And their lifestyles were the key to why, not just their diet, but they were active, they were involved with the community, they were still feeling that they were needed and a part of the family. Some of them still even worked. And that's part of what I'll be teaching from. And then I have two other people that I really appreciate what they teach, Dr. Sebi and Queen Afua. Dr. Sebi he has passed away, but he was very, very into plant-based healing products, natural healing. I have a short little video for both of them, and just to give you an idea of what they're teaching. This is just a reel, so it's very short. Yeah. You don't see any meat on there. Okay. So you see, Dr. Z, he is all about plant-based foods. Queen Afua is also about women and helping women.
Most of the times we dehydrate, we don't drink enough water. So the colds become impacted. So you're drinking more water, liquids now. And pain, a lot of times it's just we need fluids and flushing. Then exercise. I'm into fitness. I do it through yoga, meditation, moving of the mind. Inversion, just invert. Something everybody can do without changing their lifestyle. Lay down on your bed, put 3 pillows up, put your feet on the pillows, the blood flows down through your colon while it's flowing, massage. Do your breathing. So I give, for those who just want to get a touch base and see some changes, then I'll start you there. Those who want to go through deeper healing, we'll go deeper. And then you have to look at our family. I said, check your family, what they're going through, their elders. That's your bloodline, that's your DNA. So if in your family is diabetes and high blood pressure, then if you keep living the same lifestyle, that's going to be the same for yourself pretty much.
So you see, they're more than just what you eat, although they both do teach about what you eat. And this is another resource for me. This is the Food Revolution Network.
Healthy food is about how we nourish our bodies so that we can live, so that we can be alive, not so we can cope or mope or somehow survive to make it through another day of misery, not so we can just drag our way through, but so we can be alive, so we can love our lives, so we can have vitality in our bones, in our skin, so we can do what we were born to do. I love to dance. And dancing to me is one of the things that brings me alive and helps me remember that life is not just about survival, it is about thrival. It is about magnificence and joy and beauty and pleasure and aliveness and creativity and vibrancy. And healthy food can support all of that. When we feed our body well, when we give it the right fuel, we have the nutrients we need to truly love our lives.
So the Food Revolution has all these experts that teach how the diet is important to you. And so I have access to all this information that I've been studying. And I want to share it. I'm a teacher. I want to have people be healthier and know how to do it. And so this is what I have to offer is information on how to eat healthier, how to feel better, based on a lot of expert information on study, on nutrition, on physical activity, on general healthy lifestyles, meditation, yoga. I don't do yoga. I meditate, but I don't do yoga. But just knowing, I just want to share what is out there and what's available. So, do you have any questions? We did pretty good. I got through most of that. And I have time for questions. And I'm remembering to put your handout in the, yes, Tiara. Yes.
Okay, no, I was following. I was trying to find the mute. No, great job. I just had, it's not a question, it's more of a comment back on that slide that had, it was early on and it had heart attack. And you were like, essentially like pretend like you already had a heart attack and just start now without having it.
Right.
I just want to piggyback on that and mention that like when it comes to changing something like our eating and changing anything really, we're creatures of habit. And so there's two ways really that we make a permanent change. One is going to be with that emotional impact. We don't want that. That's something like a health scare. And then the second way is going to be through awareness, repetition, and a coach or a mentor. So I just wanted to say that because this is an opportunity, and to do it with community, it's just so much more powerful. So great job.
Well, thank you. And Atiara actually is, for those who don't know you, Atiara is my daughter. And Atiara actually has been training with Queen Afua. So she's going to help me out. And with that presentation, when we get into deeper into Queen Afua's learned teachings. I'm trying to put this flyer in the Zoom call. Any other questions or comments? I appreciate it.
Carol, I just want to share that I've known you for a long time, and I admire that you take a different approach. I don't know whether your ears were burning a couple of days ago because I was just sharing with one of my sisters that you as a dietitian, because we worked together at the VA back in Washington, I appreciated the way you approached everything because a lot of times people go from 0 to 100. And when you've been eating a certain way for so long and someone's telling you, well, you need to do this, I'm resistant and I have to do baby steps. But I always love the way you shared, like it's options. If it's like not taking things away from people, but showing them how they can make it healthier. I think that's always appreciated. So I always appreciated that about you. And that's kind of the approach that I've taken a lot in my life because I've lost weight and still continue to learning to eat better. But I still have that moment where I want that old comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to find healthier ways to make it because I don't want to go away totally from some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm told to, and this has been my personality, if I'm told not to do something, I'm like that rebellious child and I'll do more of it. So I'm growing and learning.
You're not the only one like that. I think a lot of us are like that. Don't tell me I can't do it because I'm going to do it just because you said that.
Exactly. But I appreciate everything that you continually try to do, especially for our community.
Yeah, we have to. That's what we are educated for. Yes, Tony.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And I put a question in the chat.
Oh, yeah. What's the difference between sleep and rest?
Yeah. And let me just pull one thing. I know you're going to be doing some teaching, but based upon something you had said earlier, about choosing, there is a saying we have in community that it is what it is. And I say that that saying is a lie. And the truth is, it is what you choose it to be.
That's true. I
It
agree.
ain't what it is what you choose. And if you choose poor health, you're gonna get poor health.
Right. Just like I said with the just like I said with the I'm trying to get your hand out. I'm sorry. Um,
Well, I can take it down.
no, I'm trying to put this in the chat. Just like like I said with the globe with the you don't look at need to look in a crystal ball. What you're doing now, what you're putting in your body now, what you're thinking out now, who you hang around now, is going to determine your future. And that is fact. There's no doubt about it. So yes, we do need to um, pay attention and make better choices. And that's what this is all about, teaching people better choices. But you know, we don't get much nutrition information. If you think about what if you're watching the TV, you're going to get the commercials. They're going to tell you about this medicine that's going to solve this problem. And then quietly it tells you all the side effects, right? Well, I'm trying to tell you that we can do so much better as far as healing ourselves and all the problems we have with how we eat, how we live, how we, our lifestyles. No smoking, avoiding alcohol, being active, being connected, getting good sleep. And the difference in sleep and rest, I think people, I don't know, we know that the difference in sleep and rest. I know I can rest without sleeping. But I think sleeping sort of puts your body and your whole body and mind into another realm where we totally can relax. I don't know if anyone else, we have some nurses here too. If anyone else has a better answer for that, let me know.
And Miss Carrie, you mind since I asked a question, I try to be a good lawyer. So I don't ask a question without having somewhat of an answer. And
Okay.
and I think about, a lot of times people take certain things to sleep and they don't rest, they sleep. And they wake up tireder than they were when they went to sleep. So, and I just want to say, if you can just add a portion to your teaching about nutritional for resting, what really promotes quality rest versus just, if I'm going to go to sleep, let me at least get some rest while I'm sleeping and not just sleep and wake up tired.
That's true. I'm glad you brought that point out because medications, they will, some of those sleep aids don't allow you to get to all the different realms of sleep where you
Right.
get to the rest stage. So that's true. Yeah, I will include that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Any other questions? I have put a handout in the chat. I have one more quiz for you, and I want you to and Tony, don't give the answer because you already heard this, and Doug, don't you give the answer either. I want you to tell me a number that has three different ways to spell it, three different ways to pronounce, no, one pronunciation, three different ways to spell it, and three meanings. Put the number in the chat. All right, Betty says two. Altiera says four. Four is good for two ways to read. Charlene says three. Okay. The one I was thinking about is two. Two. I want you to do two things for me. TWO. And yes, Frankie. And I want you to think about two, TO, taking some action, and TOO. The handout I gave you is, let me see if I can put it up on, show it on the screen. It's all about looking at your food choices, that what you're eating now, taking a little survey of how you're eating now, and okay, open up. And I want you to find some things that you can change in your diet. But I'm not asking you to do it all at once. I want you to find two things that you can do, 2 things that you're eating too much of, 2 things that you're eating too little of, and see if you can't make a positive change. So first of all, and I got this, I adapted this from Queen Afua. She had a similar sheet. But look at how much you're eating now. How often you eat fried foods? When you do this and think about the lifetime of that food, that fat, that grease in your system, the sodium, uh, the um, the sweets, the sugar that's in your system, and we talk about healthy diets, right? How are you on your lifetime intake of these foods? Then I want you to set some SMART goals. SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound goals. 2, TWO. I want you to look at 2 foods you're eating too much of, and 2 foods that you're eating too little of. And then I want you to set a goal of eating better in those 2 foods. This is a reminder how you sign up for the class. And on the back, I am giving you, let's see if I can do it this way. Make it a little bit smaller so you can see the whole thing. I am giving you the healthy foods that you can have. Wait a minute. Yeah. At the bottom, it gives you some alternative foods, plant-based foods that will give you a healthier benefit than the ones at the top. So the top shows you those foods that you're eating, and it gives you some common emotions and spiritual implications of that food. At the bottom, it gives you foods that are more healthier in those same ways. So, all right. I'll stop sharing. And any last comments or questions? I got through it all in 1 hour. Yes. Thank you all for being here. And I hope that you have gained some information. I hope that I will see you in my class, as I have a whole lot more to share with you. This video will be on my YouTube channel. So do go back to it, send it to other people that you think could benefit from not just watching this video, but also attending the class and learning much more on how to eat and be healthier. Okay.